Hey everyone, Mark our Gamer Dude here, and today we have a special guest. Care to introduce yourself, man?
Hello. My name is D.TYLER FULTZ. I am a voice actor for things like Ask Mario and, the Mario Sonic Fusion Mayhem. Thank you for bringing me on board, by the way.
No problem. I'm glad to have you on that as Knuckles. You do a great Knuckles.
Thanks.
And okay, so today, everyone, I brought Tyler on here to interview him about being a VA, and of course, his time as Mario as well. But we'll start into the normal general questions that I came up with. Ready, Tyler?
Ready when you are.
All right. So the first question is, how did you get started into voice acting? Were you inspired by anyone?
I have a few stories about that. Apparently, I've been doing voice work since I was a little kid. I was watching zoo documentaries, and I was imitating the hosts. Things like Jack Hanna, Steve Irwin, that kind of thing. And I eventually just started taking more and more of a passion in that. I was imitating movies, cartoons, often doing routines with my brother. But I think I started showing interest in voiceover around the time I was in college. And I found the site Behind the Voice Actors. I started auditioning on their old casting call features, and it just kind of took me here. I guess the thing that inspired me most was two things, actually. There was a special features on a SpongeBob DVD where they interviewed the voice cast, and it was amazing how they were bringing these characters to life, and they were making me laugh that hard. And another was an episode of Inside the Actors Studio with James Lipton where they interviewed the cast of The Simpsons. And they asked the cast of the characters, the actors, I should say, these questions, and they would answer them in character, often making fun little references. It was so fun and it was so funny, and that's pretty much what I was sold, and I knew I wanted to do that for a living.
Wow, you basically just sound like how I started. I started doing voiceover right around college, and I also, when I was younger, I used to imitate the voices of characters. Excuse me, the characters and stuff. My parents always said, like, you always imitate stuff when you were younger, so I'm not surprised you started doing this. I'm like, really? You sure? I don't remember ever doing that. And yeah, so once I started in college, that's when I knew I was in the right place. And I was just like you, seeing the voice actors in interviews and how they were doing stuff behind the scenes and stuff. I was like, I want to do that. It seems like so much fun, and this is like me. So, and then when I got into my booth, yep, I knew I was in the right place. Okay, so this second one is actually something that every voice actor gets asked. What's your advice for anyone in the VA world who's starting out? What's your advice to them?
Where do I begin? I guess the strongest one I can recommend is if you want to be a voice actor, you have to be prepared to commit. You are not going to be great right out the door. Or you have to be prepared to commit, be prepared for the long haul, and you have to dedicate yourself because, like an art, it takes practice. And you will probably not be that great starting out. It's one of those things where you have to find your place, build on that as you go. So yeah, that's the best advice I can give you. I cannot begin to tell you how many people approached me with with wanting to be a voice actor, and they just kind of quit when they weren't doing numbers right out the door.
Yeah, everyone expects this to like right off the bat. People will book things right away. Not everyone books things right off the bat. You might book one, and like one role. You might book one. That'd be great. It's great, but that's like a very small chance. But even then, you're not gonna be booking things every single week and every month. I remember interviewing Sean Chiplock once, and he told me that he did not book anything for over a year or two. So yeah, you need to prepare yourself for that.
This road is going to have its ups and downs. What matters is that you keep going.
100%. That's a slogan for anything. Keep going, no matter what.
Absolutely.
All right. So here's one of mine that came up with. Has there been any role that you booked that you just absolutely loved? I'm sure there's plenty you booked that you loved, but anyone that stood out to you the most?
I actually do have a solid answer for that, and it's actually one of the things that helped put me on the radar as a voice actor, I feel. Years and years ago, Josh Scorcher, the YouTuber, did dubs of Fire Emblem Awakening's support system, and I got the part of Gregor. I looked more into his support conversations, and I just grew to love of this guy, and I just loved voicing him too. It's Gregor time!
Yeah, actually, do remember seeing that like way before I even met any of you guys or started voiceover. Way back then in the early days. I thought I'm subscribed to Josh Scorcher, and I remember seeing some of his supports. Gregor, I don't remember if I saw him, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's hard to hate a character that you grow to like that much. It's a shame that those conversations didn't quite go out the way Josh wanted to. Things kind of fell apart, and he himself admitted it was overambitious. But Gregor has withstood the test of time. And it's thanks to him that I made so many friends in the voiceover industry. Some I still am in very much good terms with, and they're still my friends.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, so this one is something that every VA should be known for. Okay, any warning signs that anyone should be wary as a VA?
Again, this is a question. It's like, where do I begin? And I don't really have a. There's so many red flags out in the voice acting world. I guess one I can and look for is, be wary of the people that will try to use your rookie status to manipulate you into doing anything that they want you to do, or give illusions as to what the voice acting world is like. I was unfortunate enough to see people fall into this trap, and it basically destroyed any chance they wanted to be a voice actor at all. Like, they got all this, they got introduced to how things are in the voice acting world, and they didn't expect failure that much, to the point they just kind of quit. All while they got nothing out of all the work they did for this person who was just exploiting them. That's the biggest red flag I can support. Just people who will tell you lies to get something out of you in this industry.
Yeah, always be careful. You never know. Someone be super happy and nice in the beginning, but then they use you to get something which is bad, very bad.
Yeah, very much. Also, stay away from AI. Screw that stuff.
Oh yes, please stay away from AI. If you don't know what it is, just look it up. But even then, don't do it. Just don't. Trust us. Just don't. It's very insulting to any VA. Trust us. All right. So the last question from me is: some people get classes and some people don't. Is taking classes as a VA highly recommended?
Yes, I would say it is very much recommended. I understand if you can't afford it. Some people don't quite have the money, but I do very much recommend taking an acting class. It could be a theater class at your college. It could be a workshop held by well-known voice actors. I've been to many of them. I've been at this for a decade now, and I keep learning new things, both from the teachers that are holding these classes and from the participants/students who attend them alongside me. It always helps in this field to get a little extra feedback, and you're never too old to stop learning. That's what I want to say.
That is true. That is very true. Okay, so here onto the questions where fans sent in questions. All right, it's from, I hope I pronounced this right. Kumagura Servanan. Oh my god, that's so bad. Okay, so they ask, what's it like working for commissioners on special projects? And what songs do you like to sing?
For that first one, working for commissioner, I want to say, it's nice. It's nice to know that I'm at least getting paid for this, but you also have to work with some kind of deadline. Like, you don't want to keep these people waiting. And every now and then, you will come across a commission that you may just have to say no to. It may cost you a customer who is willing to pay you, but some bullets are worth biting, I want to say. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally get what you mean. I know I backed out a couple of times because the person was too like pushy or anything. Or it wasn't me being paid, but I heard that they did that to that one person who was dealing with something at the moment, and I had to back out of the project because of that. So yeah.
Yeah. As for singing, I'm afraid I am not much of a singer. I'm told I have the voice for it, but not the heart. And yeah, I get that. It's very true. Singing and voice acting have very similar elements of it, but there's a lot more emotion that goes into singing. I'm not saying voice acting can be unemotional. I'm just saying you have to be able to belt all that you have in you when it comes to singing, and I just can't do that. I'd rather express myself through acting than singing, and I'm okay with that.
Right. Okay, so from SMK Flair, what's it like to work for Slick Frame James?
It's a lot of fun, honestly. He's actually one of the more fun people I've had to do voiceover for. BOWSER is really fun to voice, and what makes it better is that he directs me personally just to get a reaction. Just to make sure I'm doing a good job and to get a reaction from anything I say or do. Oh, he's very open to improv, and I appreciate that. It really helps bring BOWSER to life.
Yeah, so many people love him, BOWSER. So many people keep asking me, hey, when are you gonna do something with BOWSER? I want to hear you guys say something, funny and stuff. I'm like, one day, dude, one day.
Hey, BOWSER. Hey, BOWSER.
What?
Peanut.
Shut up.
I never asked James this. How did you guys come across? Did contact you, or did you post it on a casting call or something?
He actually found me. There was a comic dub I did years ago where I voiced BOWSER. That video was sadly lost because the user privated it. I think it's because she moved up in her career and didn't want to link that back to her. I understand. So basically, he found me from that comic dub, asked me if I wanted to be part of his show, and I said, sure. And here I am today.
All right. From Sonic Speeder 30, what is your favorite Mario game?
Oh, once again, all these questions just lead me to say, where do I begin? The first... Mario was actually the first video game I was ever playing. I was playing Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo with my dad since before I could even read. And I've kind of just grown up with him. And there's so many games that I'm actually genuinely attached to, but if you had to twist my arm and make me choose, I want to say Mario Galaxy. It's just visually appealing, and it's just fun and epic in scale when it comes to Mario standards. Also, the music is fantastic, and I could listen to it for a long time.
All right, next up from Andrew Potts. For gruff voice characters, how do you warm up, and what do you do afterwards to relieve your sore throat? That's a good question.
It is a very good question, but I do actually have a few solid answers. For gruff voices, what you do is, I do this thing called Tibetan throat singing. I know I said I wasn't a singer before, but this is more of an exercise than an actual song. I describe it as, I remember video game composer Mick Gordon's, he did this for Killer Instinct 2013, and he describes it as, you have to pretend like you're clearing your throat, but on that second one, you hold it. And then you just kind of play around with how high, how low, what you can do with that. It helps to strengthen your throat, but also proves as an exercise in endurance, like how long you can keep it up. Also, it's great for warm-up. As for relieving the after effects, first of all, hydrate. And after that session is over, brew yourself some nice tea, get some honey in it, and just take a day to recuperate before you try anything too strenuous again. Am I making sense here?
Yeah, you totally made sense there. I hear that thing all the time. The throat exercises or the.
I keep hearing about that Chinese throat medicine, but I can never remember what it's called.
Okay, final question from Michael Jordan. Some people use casting call, but not everyone uses it. Everyone has their own way of finding auditions. Is casting call the recommended thing to find auditions on?
Casting Call Club is kind of the main hub if you're starting out as voice acting and casting. Yeah, I should say. But there are other places. I know of the Voice Actors Club Discord chat. That's where you can look around for jobs, find other actors to talk to. Oh, it's headed by Kira Buckland, really passionate about helping new actors out.
Yeah, I mainly use casting call also, but I also use Twitter also. It's all just about your own way to find stuff. People sometimes send you stuff, you might find it, or again, people might recommend you. You gotta find your own way, but you'll find it.
Casting Call Club is the main hub, but when it comes to finding these casting calls, it really is a social media thing. In this case, Twitter is sort of the necessary evil. That's how I find most of my auditions. It's one of those things where you really have to branch out, and other times, it may just fall down to you being in the right place at the right time.
Alright, anything else you want to say to the audience before we leave, Tyler?
No, it's actually been a pleasure. Thanks for having me aboard.
Alright, thanks for watching, guys, and be sure to watch Ask Mario and all the other things that Daven is in also. Thanks for joining, Tyler. Thank you.
And it was my pleasure. I'll see y'all later.